Part 1: The Silence of the Abyss. I've always believed that silence in space is impossible. I mean, sure, sound doesn't travel without air, but even the emptiness buzzes with echoes of distant stars and cosmic whispers. Yet, as I drifted in the cockpit of the Stellar Nomad, with nothing but the dim glow of the dash displays to light my face, I encountered the truest silence I've ever felt. The kind that wraps around you, holding you tighter than a spacesuit on a re-entry. "Jace, are you alive in there or just practicing for a mime contest?" crackled Della's voice over the comm. Her voice, a syrupy mix of sarcasm and genuine concern, pierced the quiet like a comet through dark matter. I flicked a switch, bringing my face into view. "Just savoring the peace, Della. I find the absence of catastrophic failure oddly comforting." "Well, don't get too comfy. Captain wants us to prep for a jump. There's something weird out there, and by weird I mean potentially profitable." I could practically hear her smirk. Profit was a language every spacefarer spoke fluently. It's what kept us tearing through the cosmos instead of settling on some dirtball planet. I nodded to the empty room, knowing she couldn't see me. "I'll be there in a jiff." I leaned back and glanced through the viewport. Stars stretched across the void like spilled diamonds, twinkling in defiance of the darkness. Among them, the sleek, menacing shadow of the Obsidian Conclave loomed, an alien megastructure rumored to house wonders and horrors, treasures for those bold enough to unearth them. The structure was a perfect blend of impossible geometry and otherworldly beauty, spiraling in ways no sane architect would comprehend. Its surface was a tessellation of shifting hexagons that refracted starlight like a colorless kaleidoscope. We arrived at the conclave on the edge of known space, thanks to a half-broken star map we purchased from a trader whose honesty was as dubious as his hygiene. But against all odds, there it was. "All right, you rust bucket," I muttered, patting the console as if the ship had ears. "Let's go meet our fate." Making my way through the cramped corridors of the Nomad, I found the captain and the rest of the crew gathered in the command module. Captain Varis stood tall, his presence as commanding as a solar flare. His eyes scanned us like a scanner array searching for a signal. Della, our navigator, was already at her station, fingers dancing over controls like a pianist on a caffeine binge. "We've got reports of an anomaly deep inside the conclave," Varis declared, pointing at a swirling vortex on the holographic map. "A gravitational flux that doesn't match any known patterns, but if we're lucky, it might be concealing something valuable." I raised an eyebrow, or it could just be death wearing a new coat. Varis chuckled, a rare sound that was more surprise than humor. "Could be. That's why we're going in to find out." Our engineer, Thane, a burly man who somehow managed to make Greece look fashionable, grunted from behind a mass of wires. "If the ship holds together, that is, might want to brace for some interesting gravitational effects." He had a talent for understatement. The ship rattled its objection as if trying to warn us of the lunacy ahead. I swallowed back a nervous laugh. The approach was like threading a needle into the eye of a storm. The Nomad strained against the gravitational pull, each creak and moan a testament to its age and resilience. Outside, the conclave's structure twisted in impossible ways, as if space itself was trying and failing to understand its own nature. Gravity lurched, flipping my stomach like a pancake. "I guess this is what they mean by disturbing the peace," I quipped, clinging to my console as the ship steadied. "Keep your wit sharp, Jace. We might need it to cut through whatever this is," Varis replied with a nod at the vortex that loomed ever closer on our screens, a maelstrom of shimmering energies and spatial distortions. As we neared the anomaly, I felt the familiar buzz of anticipation mixed with dread. The conclave had been dormant for millennia, guarding its secrets from the prying hands of explorers and thieves. We were about to knock on its door, and I had the eerie sensation that something inside was awake and waiting. Della's voice broke the tension, buoyant and mischievous. "So, what's the worst that could happen? We get sucked into a parallel dimension where breakfast is always the most important meal of the day. Or we find that the treasure is just a collection of ancient alien recipes," I countered, flashing her a grin. The Nomad shook violently as the anomaly pulled us in, the ship's systems flashing alerts like an overzealous Christmas display. The world outside twisted, stars bending and warping like reflections in a funhouse mirror. We were swallowed whole by the vortex, the horrible silence returning with the weight of a collapsing sun. Then, just as suddenly, we were through, and the Nomad was spat out into the quiet belly of the conclave. The sight that greeted us was breathtaking. An endless expanse of alien architecture stretched as far as the eye could see, intricate arches and spires rising in defiance of gravity's grasp. The walls pulsed with a faint, otherworldly light, casting everything in hues of deep blues and greens. But before we could let awe take hold, a sudden jolt sent us sprawling as the ship's alarms blared a warning. No time to admire the scenery, something was here, and it had noticed our uninvited presence. Part 2: Echoes of the Lost. The alarms were shrill, piercing through the ethereal silence like the cries of a banshee. I scrambled to my feet, heart pounding a chaotic rhythm as the Nomad was thrust into survival mode. Our once voyage of discovery now felt like a dance on the razor's edge of oblivion. "Status report," Varis barked, his voice cutting through the chaos like a laser through fog. The command module was alive with flashing lights and frantic activity. Thane's hands flew over the controls, his expression a mix of concentration and deep-seated irritation akin to a man trying to solve a 1,000-piece puzzle with half its pieces missing. "We've got some kind of interference. The sensors are acting up. I can't get a clear read." Della squinted at her displays, her fingers tapping a rhythm of urgency and precision. "The structure's emitting some kind of resonance. It's messing with our systems, like trying to tune an old radio through a thunderstorm." Varis turned to me, eyes sharp and decisive amid the chaos. "Jace, can you get us some eyes outside?" I nodded, already moving to the external cam controls. As I flicked the switches and adjusted the feed, the viewport flickered to life, revealing the vast expanse of the conclave. Shadows danced in the alien light, twisting and turning with deceptive grace across the landscape. And there, gliding silently along the intricate lattice of the megastructure, was something I had hoped to never see: an alien ship, unlike anything in our databases. Its design was an artful amalgamation of practicality and elegance, its hull shimmering with an organic light that seemed to flow like liquid metal. It moved with a predatory grace, a shark in the great black ocean. "We've got company," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. Fear had a funny way of shrinking your words even in a vacuum. Varis leaned forward, studying the screen with a mixture of awe and suspicion. "Any sign of hostility?" "None yet, but I wouldn't count on a warm, welcome platter," Della quipped, though her eyes never left her console. As if on cue, the alien ship shifted, its form rippling like mercury before splitting apart into multiple smaller craft, each one darting towards us with unsettling speed. "Defensive maneuvers," Varis ordered, his calm a stark contrast to the storm of activity. The Nomad lurched into motion, thrusters firing as Thane wrestled with the controls. The scene outside was a ballet of light and motion as alien ships weaved around us, testing our defenses. Their tactics were precise, probing for weakness but never striking a killing blow. It was a game, and we were the cornered prey. But I had little time to contemplate our precarious situation, for the Nomad's sensors came back online with a jolt, and what I saw on the screen made my blood run cold. "Captain, you might want to see this," I said, unable to tear my eyes away. He joined me at the console, his expression hardening as he took in the data. The Conclave wasn't just a structure, it was a habitat. Nestled within its towering spires and endless corridors were signs of life, massive, pulsating biomes teeming with life forms unlike any we'd encountered. Alien ecosystems thriving in the shadow of technology. "We've stumbled into a cosmic zoo," I murmured. Varis nodded, a glint of something indefinable in his eyes. "And they're the zookeepers. Think they'll let us pet the exhibits?" I ventured, trying to lighten the air as the tension thickened like the soup Thane swore was a delicacy. "Let's not stick around to find out," Varis replied, his resolve crystallizing as he issued orders. "Della, find us a path through. Thane, keep the systems in check. Jace, be ready to improvise." As the Nomad wove through the Conclave's depths, a sense of wonder clashed with the adrenaline-fueled rush of survival. The alien ships hovered, ever present, a silent reminder of our precarious trespass. We passed through biomes where flora glowed with bioluminescent hues, and fauna glided through air heavy with unfamiliar scents and sounds. The ecosystem was a mesmerizing tapestry of life, painted with colors and forms that defied earthly imagination. "Think they have a gift shop?" I mused aloud, earning a chuckle from Della despite the circumstances. The alien ships peeled away as we reached the core of the structure, a vast chamber pulsing with energy, its walls alive with flowing currents of light. At its heart was the anomaly we had sought, a swirling mass of gravitational flux that bent space like a cosmic maestro. As we approached, the Nomad shuddered, its systems struggling against the maelstrom of energies. And then, out of the shifting light, emerged a figure, tall and enigmatic, its form ethereal and fluid, as if woven from the dreams of stardust. It was the first non-humanoid life form I had ever laid eyes upon, a living enigma that seemed to resonate with the very fabric of the Conclave. It spoke without words, its presence echoing in our minds, a melody of curiosity and ancient wisdom. We had become part of its story, whether we liked it or not, and the choices we made would ripple across the cosmos. In this alien sanctuary, we stood on the precipice of discovery, our fates entwined with forces beyond our understanding. And as the Nomad hovered in that mysterious chamber, I couldn't shake the feeling that the silence of space was about to be shattered by the echoes of the lost. Part 3: The Echo Chamber. The figure's presence was like standing before the heart of a star, awe-inspiring, blinding, and slightly terrifying in its incomprehensibility. I could feel its consciousness brushing against mine, probing and curious, like a scientist examining a new specimen. It was at once a greeting and a reminder of our insignificance in this ancient place. Della's voice broke the trance, filled with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. "Is it speaking to us?" "More like tuning into us," Thane muttered, his eyes glued to the readouts. "I've never seen energy signatures like this, not even in the wildest tales of old spacers." Varis stood contemplative, seemingly unperturbed by the otherworldly encounter. "What does it want?" Before any of us could venture a guess, a sudden spike of energy surged from the anomaly. The Nomad systems flickered in response, and my stomach twisted in knots as we were pulled into a vision, a memory not our own. In an instant, we were surrounded by the sights and sounds of a bustling civilization. Tall, graceful beings moved through alabaster streets under skies painted in perpetual twilight. Their architecture was a harmonious blend of technology and nature, buildings that soared like giant trees with living veins of light. "This must be a memory of the Conclave's creators," Della whispered, her voice barely audible over the ghostly orchestra of the past. The vision shifted, and we saw the same beings in council, their gestures and expressions speaking of urgency and fear. A cosmic storm threatened their world, an anomaly beyond their understanding that was slowly unraveling the fabric of their reality. As quickly as it came, the vision vanished, leaving us adrift in the present once more. The alien figure's presence receded, replaced by a solemn understanding that resonated within us all. "We're seeing their past," Varis said, his voice a soft echo in the cavernous chamber. "They built the Conclave to shield their world from the anomaly, and themselves." "But something went wrong," I added, piecing together the fragments. "The Conclave became a tomb instead of a sanctuary." Thane sighed, a hint of old sorrow in his rough voice. "A story as old as the stars, creation and destruction, hand in hand." Before we could delve deeper into the implications, the Nomad shuddered again. The anomaly's energy flared, triggering something within the Conclave. The walls pulsed with renewed vigor, and the alien ships outside began to coalesce back into their original form, the piece of a puzzle fitting into place. "We've overstayed our welcome," Varis deduced, his tone firm. "Whatever's left of their defense mechanism is waking up. We need a way out fast." Della, ever the quick thinker, already had a plan. "There's an access point near the anomaly's core. It might connect to the main transit network, like a hyperloop for this place. Or it could be a one-way ticket to oblivion," Thane countered with grim humor as he prepared the engines for a hasty retreat. "At least it'll be a scenic route," I said, trying to lighten the atmosphere as we maneuvered the Nomad towards the access point. The moment we entered, the world outside dissolved into a blur of light and motion. The Nomad hurtled through the veins of the Conclave, guided by forces unseen as the structure rearranged itself in response to our passage. It was as if the Conclave itself was directing us, a final act of its creators, or perhaps a last desperate measure to rid itself of intruders. Images from the past flashed around us, glimpses of the civilization that had built this place, their triumphs and tragedies, their hopes and despair etched into the very fabric of the Conclave. I caught sight of scenes that tugged at my heart, families saying goodbye, friends clasping hands one last time, the beauty of a world slipping into memory. The ride came to a jarring halt as we emerged into an immense chamber at the heart of the Conclave. Here, the anomaly was bound and contained, a swirling tempest of cosmic energy held at bay by intricate arrays of alien technology. It was both a marvel and a warning, a testament to the Creator's final act of defiance. "Now what?" Thane asked, his usual bravado tempered by the enormity of what lay before us. "The Conclave's purpose was to shield and preserve," Varis said, his gaze fixed on the anomaly. "But maybe it also holds the key to understanding, and maybe even controlling, the forces at work here." Della nodded, her expression serious yet hopeful. "If we can tap into its systems, we might be able to stabilize the anomaly, or at least find a way to safely navigate it." "And how do we do that?" I asked, already dreading the answer. "By getting up close and personal," Varis replied, a determined fire in his eyes. "We're going to interface with the core." As we prepared for what could very well be our final act, I couldn't shake the feeling thaw. The echoes of this ancient place were not yet done with us. In this chamber of forgotten dreams and broken realities, we stood on the brink of unraveling a mystery as old as the stars themselves, or becoming part of it forever. Part 4, the Core Directive. The chamber thrummed with a resonant hum, a deep, throbbing heartbeat that seemed to vibrate through the very hull of the Nomad. It was a reminder of the colossal power contained within the ancient mechanism, a power that could either save us or tear us to pieces. "Thane, get the interface ready," Varis commanded, his voice steady, a beacon of calm in the swirling chaos. "Aye, Captain," Thane replied, his fingers already working their magic on the controls. "Let's hope this works. I'd like to retire to a nice, quiet moon, maybe write some poetry." "Poetry, huh?" I quipped, raising an eyebrow. "Always thought you were more of a ballad guy." He grinned despite everything. "If we make it out, I'll serenade you every night, Jace. Until then, let's focus on not becoming cosmic dust." Della was at her station, tapping into the Conclave's ancient network, her eyes darting across screens filled with alien script and diagrams. "The systems are responding, but they're complicated. It's like trying to read a novel in a language you don't speak while it's being rewritten." As she struggled to make sense of the data, the alien figure reappeared, hovering near the core. It communicated with a series of pulses and waves, providing guidance, though its intentions were still cryptic. "We have to trust it," Varis said, a note of determination in his voice. "It's been our guide this far, and the Conclave is still intact." "Or it's just really good at faking sincerity," I suggested, though deep down, I wanted to believe it had led us here for a reason beyond our comprehension. The decision was made, we were going in. I followed Varis and Thane as we boarded the small shuttle, leaving Della to manage the Nomad systems remotely. The shuttle was a tight fit, the kind that brought coworkers closer than any team-building exercise ever could. As we approached the core, the air thrummed with anticipation, the silence pregnant with possibility. The alien architecture unfolded before us, a labyrinthine network of conduits and circuits that shimmered like the inside of a crystal. "Reminds me of my grandma's sewing room," Thane noted dryly, though his eyes betrayed awe. "Your grandma must have had quite the interior decorator," I replied, absorbing the breathtaking sight. We docked with the core interface, the shuttle locking into place with a reassuring hiss. As we stepped out, the energy field enveloped us, a tingling sensation that hinted at the power held within. The alien figure appeared once more, guiding us towards a central platform. Here, a vast console stretched out like a giant sea anemone, its tendrils reaching for us with a gentle, beckoning curiosity. Varis took point, his hand hovering over the interface. "Let's see if we can figure this puzzle out without blowing ourselves up." "Always a plus," Thane added, inserting a device designed to sync with the alien systems. "I prefer my atoms to stay in their current configuration." As Varis initiated the sequence, the platform came alive with light, a symphony of colors and patterns that swirled around us. The alien script morphed into recognizable symbols, a translation of the creator's last message. Preserve, adapt, evolve. We had become part of their story, inheritors of their final directive. The anomaly that had threatened their world was not merely a natural disaster, but a living entity, a being of raw cosmic energy searching for balance. The Conclave isn't just a defense mechanism, I realized, my voice echoing in the vast chamber. It's a conduit, a bridge between realities. "A way to harness and redirect the anomaly," Varis concluded, the enormity of our task settling over us like a second skin. Our choice was clear. We had to stabilize the anomaly, use the Conclave systems to guide it back to its own dimension before it consumed us all. Thane took to the controls, his expertise with alien tech proving invaluable as he manipulated the console, aligning our intentions with the Conclave's purpose. "Ready when you are, Captain." Varis nodded, taking a steadying breath before giving the order. "Engage." The platform resonated, its energy merging with the anomalies' chaotic flow. The room shimmered, reality bending around us, and I felt a tug at the edge of my consciousness, a gentle pull towards something beyond the stars. For a moment everything was light and sound, a kaleidoscope of sensations that defied description. I saw echoes of the Conclave's creators watching over us, their hopes and dreams entwined with our own, and I understood we were the stewards of their legacy, the keepers of a universe yet to be imagined. And then, as suddenly as it had begun, the light faded. The core hummed with newfound stability, a harmonious melody of cosmic forces woven into unity. We had done it. The anomaly was contained, the Conclave's purpose fulfilled. As we made our way back to the Nomad, a profound sense of peace settled over us, the knowledge that we had forged a connection across the millennia, a bond sealed in the echoes of the lost. "Well," Thane said, breaking the silence with a grin, "looks like my poetry will have to wait." "Don't worry," I replied with a wink. "There's always tomorrow's adventure." With the Nomad poised for departure, we gazed once more at the magnificent structure, a monument to resilience and the enduring spirit of exploration. And as we set a course for home, I couldn't help but wonder what new wonders awaited us beyond the next star. For the universe was vast and mysterious, a tapestry of stories waiting to be told, and we were but travelers on its infinite sea, driven by the echoes of those who had come before. Part 5: The Whispering Abyss. As the Nomad slipped away from the Conclave, leaving its mysteries and majesty behind, the stars seemed brighter, more numerous, like curious onlookers watching us with twinkling curiosity. The sense of purpose and fulfillment was palpable, yet with each new horizon came the promise of further enigmas and trials. I sat in the cockpit, sipping a lukewarm cup of pseudo-coffee, the kind that tasted like burnt hope but did wonders for keeping the mind sharp during long flights. The familiar hum of the ship was a comforting lullaby after the cosmic symphony we just experienced. "Jace, you still with us?" Della's voice crackled over the intercom, warm and teasing. "Or did you get abducted by space poets?" "Present and accounted for," I replied, stifling a yawn. "Currently contemplating a Nobel Prize for the worst brew in the universe." Her laughter was a balm. "Could have fooled me. That stuff has been known to repel small asteroids." Joking aside, we all felt the weight of what we'd achieved, and maybe even the burden of what lay ahead. Captain Varis had set a course for the nearest refueling station, an orbital hub perched on the edge of a nebula known for its mineral wealth and questionable clientele. As we approached the station, its silhouette emerged against the swirling colors of the nebula, an amalgam of patched hulls and retrofitted modules. It was a place where stories intertwined, where traders, travelers, and rogues alike gathered under the unwritten truce of neutrality. Thane, ever the optimist, chimed in from engineering. "Looks like it's time to resupply and rub elbows with the galaxy's finest." "Just remember, elbows only," I shot back, eliciting a chuckle. "I'd rather not spend the rest of the week scrubbing whatever sticky mess passes for floor over there." We docked with the station, the Nomad settling into its berth with a mechanical sigh. As the airlock cycled, I took a moment to appreciate the sights and sounds of the bustling port of Calliope Station. Vendors barked their wares, voices mingling with the clang of machinery and the hiss of steam vents, creating an atmosphere alive with commerce and intrigue. Varis led the way as we navigated the lively corridors, our destination a reputable, by station standards, supply depot. My senses were assaulted by the aroma of exotic spices, the glow of neon signs, and the tapestry of languages and dialects that wove through the market. Our business was straightforward: restock essentials, patch some of the nomad's battle scars, and hopefully avoid the kind of entanglements that required creative exits. As Varis haggled with a seller over fuel prices, Della turned her attention to a map of the local trading routes, ever the strategist. "See anything interesting?" I asked, peering over her shoulder. "Depends on your definition of interesting," she replied, pointing to a system marked as uncharted. "Word is, there's an anomaly on the edge of this trade lane, something new, maybe something profitable. Or something dangerous," I mused, the memory of our recent encounter with cosmic wonders fresh in my mind. "Is there a difference?" she winked, echoing the unspoken mantra of our crew. While we debated our next course, Thane rejoined us, a satisfied grin on his face. "Ship S patched up and ready for more abuse. Now who's up for some well-earned downtime?" Before we could indulge in leisure, a shadow fell over us. A tall figure cloaked in robes of shimmering black approached, its face obscured by a hood. The station's crowd parted instinctively around it, their whispers hushed and reverent. "Captain Varis," the figure intoned, its voice rich and layered like a melody played on an ancient organ. "We have been waiting for you." Varis raised an eyebrow, his stance cautious but unyielding. "And who might we be?" The figure gestured with a gloved hand, its movements fluid and graceful. "We are the keepers of the abyss, and we have watched your journey with great interest." "Keepers, huh?" I interjected, unable to suppress my curiosity. "What is it you want from us?" The keeper turned its gaze to me, an intensity in its presence that was both unsettling and magnetic. "Not from you, but with you. There is a disturbance in the celestial web, an echo of an ancient power hidden deep within the whispering abyss. You have the ability to mend what is broken." Varis exchanged glances with us, the weight of such a proposition heavy in the air. We had just survived one cosmic anomaly, and now we were being beckoned toward another. Della, ever the voice of reason, leaned in. "Captain, they know something. This could be another conclave, a chance to understand forces even the ancients feared." "And probably feared for good reason," Thane added, folding his arms with a skeptical frown. Varis considered for a moment, the decision resting on his shoulders like an invisible mantle. "All right, we'll hear you out." The keeper nodded, a hint of relief in its posture. "We will guide you to the abyss where time and space intertwine. But be warned, the pathway is treacherous, and the echoes grow louder with each passing moment." As we followed the keeper through the bustling station, I felt a familiar thrill of the unknown. Our path was uncertain, fraught with potential peril and discovery. But as always, it was the pursuit of knowledge, of the forgotten and the forbidden, that drove us onward, into the whispering abyss that awaited beyond the stars. Part 6: The Unseen Strands. Stepping off Calliope Station and back onto the Nomad, the universe outside felt a little less familiar, a little more charged with unspoken promises and invisible threats. The keeper, seemingly a wisp of shadow and enigma, had disappeared back into the thrumming veins of the station, leaving us with a destination that glowed on our star map like a beacon of both dread and allure, the whispering abyss. The journey there was brisk, the ship slicing through the void with determined grace. The starfield slipped by, cosmic highways lined with dust and echoes of ancient explosions, their light a reminder of the universe's ongoing dance of creation and destruction. "Does anyone find it odd that we're heading toward something called the Whispering Abyss?" I asked, breaking the contemplative silence that had settled over us. Seems a bit ominous for a vacation spot. Della looked up from her nav console, her expression a mix of amusement and intrigue. Consider it more of an adventure destination. Where else would you want to go if not somewhere with a little mystery and danger? Besides, abyss or not, it's better than the last place we docked, Thane added, lacing his words with a hint of dry humor. At least the whispering abyss doesn't charge docking fees. Varis, standing at the helm, turned to face us, his eyes reflecting the star-speckled infinity beyond. These keepers might know something we don't, and if there's even a sliver of truth in their claims about the celestial web, it could redefine everything we understand about space and time. I leaned back in my seat, the vibrations of the Nomad a comforting rumble beneath me. Let's just make sure it's the kind of redefinition that doesn't end with us as cosmic pancake batter. As we closed the distance to the abyss, an uneasy energy seemed to wrap itself around the ship. The nearer we got, the more the Nomad systems flickered with static, as if we were gradually slipping off the edge of the known universe and into a nether region of unmeasured phenomena. The abyss loomed into view, a region where light seemed to skew and bend. Stars warped into elongated streaks, dissolving into the depths of a cosmic sinkhole that seemed to hum with power on a frequency just outside human hearing. "Everyone hold on," Varis instructed as the Nomad was drawn toward the epicenter of the disturbance. Our ship was a needle threading through a fabric of warped space, every creak and vibration amplified by the tension lacing the air. The ship erupted into a new realm, where colors swirled in a chaotic ballet, and time seemed to flicker between moments like a faulty holoreel. Here, reality was a fluid thing, and the rules we knew were more suggestions than anything set in stardust. "Welcome to the Whispering Abyss," Della announced, her voice a faint blend of awe and challenge. "Population us." The abyss was a canvas of dark matter and light, where wisps of energy coiled and danced, whispering promises of untold secrets. It felt both ancient and alive, as if the universe itself had woven this place as a sanctuary for its dreams and nightmares. Thane worked the sensors, his brow creasing in concentration. "Getting weird readings here, Captain. If I didn't know better, I'd say this whole place is singing." "Maybe it is," Varis replied, his gaze fixed on the shifting expanse. "Keep your ears open. We might need to understand the melody if we want to navigate it." Suddenly, our ship jolted as if tugged by an invisible hand. On the external cams, I saw tendrils of luminescent energy reaching towards us, their touch gentle yet insistent. It was as if the abyss itself was reaching out, curious and unsatisfied with mere observation. "Can we trust it?" I asked, torn between wonder and apprehension. "We don't have much choice," Varis replied, his voice steady as he adjusted the controls, letting the ship be guided by the currents of the abyss. "Sometimes you have to let the river take you to understand where it flows." As the tendrils enveloped the Nomad, a voice, or rather an impression, formed in my mind. It was a symphony of whispers, each strand of thought an invitation, a question, a plea. "You who traverse the threads of the universe, what do you seek?" I exchanged glances with my crew, each of us feeling the same consciousness pressing gently against our thoughts. "Knowledge," I answered aloud, knowing the others echoed the sentiment in their hearts. "Knowledge and understanding of what you are and what we might become." The abyss pulsed around us, a brilliant cascade of colors marking our passage deeper into its heart. There we found a nexus, a core of swirling light and shadow, where the whispers grew louder, forming a coherent tapestry of thought and memory. In that moment, the universe expanded before us, revealing it was not a solitary entity but a network of connections, every star a node, every planet a whisper in. A cosmic conversation that had been ongoing since the dawn of time. Understanding dawned on us like the first light of a new sun. We were not merely explorers of space, but keepers of a lineage that stretched across galaxies and ages. The Whispering Abyss was both a destination and a guide, showing us the importance of every action, every choice, in the grand design of the cosmos. As we emerged from the abyss, minds alight with revelation, I knew our journey had only just begun. We set our course for the next horizon, renewed with purpose and the whispers of the universe echoing in our souls. For beyond the stars lay new mysteries, waiting to be uncovered by those who dared to listen. Part 7: The Celestial Weave. Our minds were still buzzing from the revelations of the Whispering Abyss, each thought a thread in the grand tapestry of understanding we'd begun to weave. The Nomad glided through the deep, pregnant silence of space, our path lit by stars that once seemed distant but now pulsed with a newfound intimacy. The crew shared a quiet camaraderie, a bond forged in the fires of shared discovery. Each moment was a step deeper into the mystery of the cosmos, and each breath we took seemed to resonate with the echoes of the abyss still lingering in the recesses of our thoughts. "Can you believe it?" Della whispered, her gaze distant, still immersed in the afterglow of what we had experienced. We touched a piece of eternity and came back to tell the tale. Thane, ever the practical one, grunted in agreement. If only eternity paid better than whatever they call currency out here. "At least it's an exclusive club," I chimed in, tapping the star map. "Not everyone gets to have a cosmic epiphany." Varis was at the helm, silent, contemplative. His eyes flickered with reflections of the universe and the shadow of future possibilities. "I suppose the real question is, what do we do with what we've learned?" Before any of us could answer, the Nomad's sensors chimed, drawing our attention to a new anomaly, a disturbance that rippled through the fabric of space with a peculiar rhythm, as if calling to us through the veil of existence. I studied the readings, a frown tugging at my brow. "It's a signal, or something close to it, but it's not coming from any known source." Della's fingers flew over her console, translating the data with practiced ease. "It's like a heartbeat, or a beacon." "Is it trying to communicate?" Thane asked, his curiosity piqued. "Only one way to find out," Varis replied, his decision made. "We follow it." The ship changed course, aligning with the source of the signal. The deeper we traveled, the more intense the rhythm became, not just a sound, but something felt, a resonance that hummed along our bones and whispered secrets in languages long forgotten. We arrived at the edge of an uncharted star system, where the sun was a pale giant, casting an eerie glow on the planets orbiting its vast expanse. It was here that we saw it, a celestial weave, a vast network of luminescent filaments stretching between the planets like a cosmic loom threading the solar system together. The strands pulsed with energy, their glow a soft rainbow of colors that danced along our hull, guiding us toward the center of the web where a massive construct floated. It was ancient and beautiful, a circular station that seemed to hum with the energy of 10,000 suns. "Welcome to the celestial weave," Varis murmured, awe-tempered by caution. As we approached, I couldn't help but feel a sense of déjà vu, as if the strands were part of the same story told by the Whispering Abyss, chapters of a book that spanned galaxies and eons. The station hailed us, its signal clear and resonant, and Varis accepted the communication. The display filled with the image of a figure clad in robes of starlight, their features indistinguishable but for two luminous eyes that glowed with an inner fire. "You have come at last," the figure intoned, their voice a gentle ripple across the void. We are the weavers, and here lies the heart of all threads. The heart, Della echoed, her voice tinged with awe and disbelief. Every star, every planet is connected by the threads of existence, the weaver explained. You have glimpsed the echoes, but here is where they converge, the nexus of paths, the loom upon which all destinies are woven. Varis leaned forward, his expression one of skepticism mixed with intrigue. What is it you want from us? The weaver seemed to smile, a warmth infusing their luminous eyes. To restore the balance. The threads are frayed and their song grows discordant. You have seen the abyss, now you must mend the weave. Thane chuckled dryly. Guess we're cosmic repairmen now. I glanced at the crew, each face a mirror of my own resolve. We had touched the tapestry of the universe, and now it called to us for aid. Despite the risks, the uncertainty, we were united in purpose, driven by the knowledge that our actions could shape the very fabric of space and time. Then let's get started, Varis declared, determination ringing in his voice. The Nomad was guided to a docking bay, where the full scale of the celestial weave unfolded before us. As we prepared to step into the station, I felt a thrill of anticipation, mingled with a touch of fear. The path ahead was uncharted, fraught with challenges and discoveries yet unseen. But with each step, we would learn, grow, and perhaps understand the true nature of our place within the universe. The celestial weave sang to us, its melody a promise of wonders and revelations, a song that would guide us into the heart of the Ankh. Known, and as we took those first steps into the station, I knew we were ready to face whatever mysteries awaited us in the shadows of the weave. Part 8: The Threads of Destiny. Stepping into the celestial weave felt like crossing into another reality, a dimension woven from light and shadow, where the air hummed with the energy of creation itself. The station's corridors were lined with luminous strands that pulsed softly, casting prismatic reflections that danced along the walls like ethereal specters. Our guide, the Weaver, led us deeper into the heart of the station, their presence both comforting and enigmatic. Each step felt significant, as if we were treading the path of legends, our every move a note in the grand symphony of the cosmos. "How long has this place been here?" Della asked, her eyes wide, absorbing the beauty and complexity of the weave. The Weaver paused, their gaze unfathomable. "Since the birth of stars, when the first threads were spun from the fires of creation, we exist beyond time, in service to the harmony of the universe." "Quite a job description," Thane muttered, though his usual skepticism was softened by awe. We stopped before a vast chamber, where the Weaver gestured us inside. It was a sight to behold, an immense loom of cosmic proportions, its tendrils threading the universe together in intricate patterns of light and shadow. Every strand vibrated with potential, a testament to the interconnectedness of all things. "You stand at the center of the weave," the Weaver announced, their voice a soft chord in the celestial melody. "But the threads are fraying and the balance must be restored." Varis stepped forward, his expression thoughtful. "How do we mend something so vast?" The Weaver extended a hand, and a holographic display appeared, an intricate map of the star system and its connections. By understanding the symphony of the stars and finding the discordant notes, you possess the knowledge, the echoes of the abyss have shown you the way. A murmur of realization rippled through us. The abyss, with its whispers and revelations, had not only expanded our understanding, but also prepared us for this very moment. "We need to attune the weave," Della suggested, her mind racing with possibilities. "Align the energies like tuning an instrument." "Sounds like we'll need a lot of practice," I added, feeling the weight of the task before us. It was one thing to explore the universe, It was another to become stewards of its balance. The weaver nodded, their gaze encouraging. Begin with the closest threads, those which bind this system. Follow their path, and you will find the source of the imbalance. With our course set, we returned to the Nomad, the task ahead daunting yet exhilarating. The ship was our instrument, and the weave was our stage, a cosmic concert where failure was not an option. As we departed the station, the luminous strands of the celestial weave guided us through the star system, each thread a glowing filament against the dark canvas of space. The closer we followed them, the more the resonance of the system became apparent, a strange, discordant hum that echoed across the void. Our journey led us to the edges of the system, where the strands converged around a massive, swirling vortex of energy. It was a storm of light and shadow, a tempest that pulsed with the chaotic energy of untempered forces. "Found our discordant note," Thane remarked dryly, his eyes glued to the swirling maelstrom. "Looks like we're in for a wild ride." Varis studied the vortex with a mixture of determination and caution. "We need to stabilize it, bring the threads back into harmony. Ideas." Della tapped into the ship's systems, her mind a whirl of calculations. "If we can sync the Nomad's generators with the resonance of the vortex, we might be able to counteract the chaos. It's risky, but it could work." "Risky is our middle name," I quipped, though the seriousness of the situation weighed heavily on my mind. As we prepared the Nomad, the ship was a hive of activity, each crew member focused on their task. The hum of the ship merged with the resonance of the vortex, the two frequencies dancing around each other in a delicate ballet of sound and energy. With a nod from Varis, Della initiated the sync, the Nomad's generators thrumming with power as they aligned with the maelstrom's chaotic rhythm. The ship shook, jolted by the forces at play, yet held firm, a testament to our skill and resolve. Slowly, the discordant hum began to fade, replaced by a harmonious melody that resonated through the star system. The strands of the weave glowed brighter, their song a testament to the balance restored. In the silence that followed, we let out a collective breath, the relief palpable. We had done it, if only for a moment. We had touched the heart of the universe and found harmony within its chaos. As we charted a course back to the celestial weave, the stars seemed to burn brighter, their light a reminder of the interconnectedness of all things. We were travelers, explorers, and now, weavers of destiny, RT of a story that spanned galaxies and ages. In that moment, I knew we had only begun to understand the true nature of our journey and the threads of destiny that lay before us. As we sailed through the starlit sea, a new melody in our hearts, I realized that the universe was not just a place to be explored, but a symphony to be understood. The next chapter awaited, and we were ready to listen to the next note in the song of the cosmos. Part 9: The Keeper's Call. The Nomad sailed gracefully back to the celestial weave, our journey through the star system altering us as surely as the patterns we'd helped restore. The threads of the universe had been tuned to a harmonious resonance, but with each resolution came the lingering whisper of further mysteries beckoning beyond the horizon. As we docked once more with the station, the atmosphere was alive with a sense of accomplishment and anticipation. The weaver awaited, their presence a calm center amidst the storm of our thoughts. "You have done well," the weaver greeted us, their voice a soothing balm that resonated through our minds. "But the path is long, and the weave speaks of another disturbance, one that requires your attention." Varis nodded, his resolve unyielding. "We're ready. Whatever lies ahead, we'll face it." The weaver motioned toward a new map, a cartography of the cosmos that flickered with potential and peril. "There lies a thread that has unraveled, a distant system where the stars themselves are discordant. You must travel there and mend the fracture. Della leaned in, analyzing the route with a practiced eye. Looks like a long haul deep into the fringe territories. We'll need to prepare. We're explorers at heart, I added, feeling the familiar thrill of the unknown tingling along my spine. And sometimes the best discoveries are those found on the fringes. Our course set, we returned to the Nomad, the ship ready to once again be our vessel of discovery. As we departed the celestial weave, the stars ahead glittered with the promise of new revelations and challenges. The journey was long, the kind that stretches the soul and tests the bonds forged in the crucible of shared adversity. The Nomad hummed as it traveled through the night, the vast ocean of stars our constant companion, each one a silent witness to our quest. Anyone else feel like we're the universe's personal repair crew? Thane mused, adjusting his seat to a more comfortable angle as we crossed into the fringe territories. Della chuckled, a lightness in her voice that belied the gravity of our mission. As long as the universe pays over time. I leaned back, letting my thoughts drift along the currents of space. Just think, somewhere out there, someone might be weaving stories about us, the cosmic fixers. As the hours turned to days, the distant system loomed ever closer. The star at its center appeared as a vibrant beacon, its light strangely erratic. Stars were meant to shine steadily, their lifespans counted in millennia, yet this one pulsed with an unsettling irregularity, a cosmic distress signal echoing across the void. We entered the system cautiously, the Nomad's instruments attuned to the peculiarities of this place. Planets orbited the star in eccentric paths, their surfaces marked by strange anomalies and swirling energy patterns that defied categorization. "Looks like the universe had a bad day here," Della commented, her tone a blend of fascination and concern. "Try a bad millennium," Thane replied, scanning the readouts. "The whole system's out of sync, like a broken clock trying to chime." The Weaver had been right. This system was the epicenter of the discordant energy, a place where the threads of the universe had become tangled and frayed. The challenge was immense, the solution elusive. Varis stood at the helm, his gaze sweeping over the disarray. "We need to approach this like a complex equation, one strand at a time. We focus on stabilizing the star first." With a plan forming, we took the Nomad closer to the star, its radiation a shower of chaotic particles that played across the ship's hull in dazzling displays of light and shadow. Within the star's core, the rhythms of fusion were off-kilter, threatening to unravel the delicate balance of forces holding it together. Della began her calculations, her fingers a blur over the controls. If we can inject a stabilizing frequency into the core, we might be able to reset its natural cycle, bring it back into harmony. Thane nodded, already modifying the Nomad's resonance emitters to match the star's frequency. Let's hope it appreciates a little cosmic tuning. With precision and care, we initiated the process, a delicate dance between technology and nature, where each adjustment was a step towards restoring balance. The Nomad became an extension of ourselves, a bridge between our will and the universe's design. The star responded, its erratic pulses gradually calming, the chaotic energy settling into a serene glow. The planets, once caught in the tumult, began to realign, their paths becoming smooth and predictable. As the final adjustments were made, the system sang with a harmony that transcended time and space, a symphony of creation restored to its rightful cadence. We stood in silence, the weight of what we'd accomplished settling over us like a gentle embrace. The weave was mended here, a testament to our perseverance and the mysteries we'd yet to unravel. Guess we're not too bad at this cosmic repair gig, Thane quipped, a rare smile breaking his usual stoic demeanor. Varis turned to us, his eyes reflecting the light of a universe reborn. We've done well, but there's always more to learn, more to discover. As the Nomad set course for the next horizon, the stars continued to call, each one a beacon of endless possibility. And with every thread we mended, I knew we were weaving a story that would echo through the ages. A tale of unity, discovery, and the infinite potential of the human spirit amidst the celestial dance of the cosmos. Part 10, Beyond the Veil. As the Nomad sailed away from the rebalanced star system, there was a quiet satisfaction among us, a sense that, thread by thread, we were knitting the cosmos into a harmonious tapestry. Yet, the universe, in its infinite complexity, had more secrets waiting in the shadows of our triumph. The ship's gentle hum was a soothing presence, a rhythmic reminder of our journey's vast scope and the bond shared by those who dare to traverse the stars. It was a bond forged in the crucible of challenge and discovery, each encounter deepening the ties between us. That was some ride, Thane mused, his gaze fixed on the diminishing glow of the system we'd left behind. Reminds me of trying to fix an engine that's halfway to being scrap metal. You've got a way with machines, Della replied, a teasing lilt in her voice. Maybe the universe is just another machine waiting for you to fix it. I chuckled, the camaraderie a welcome balm. Let's just hope it doesn't ask for a refund. Varis stood at the helm, the captain always vigilant, scanning the star maps that unfolded before us. His eyes narrowed as he focused on a new signal, a subtle, pulsing rhythm, almost missed amidst the cosmic background noise. Got something, Varis announced, his voice cutting through the banter like a comet's tail through the night. A signal, but faint, could be intentional or something else. I joined him at the console, curiosity piqued. Another distress call, you think? Possibly, Varis replied, though his expression shifted to one of contemplation. But it's unlike any we've encountered. It's almost as if it's buried beneath layers of static. Della leaned in, her fingers dancing over the controls to isolate and amplify the signal. It's encrypted, or maybe just cloaked by the spatial interference. Could be a beacon, a warning, or an invitation. An invitation to what? Thane grunted, skepticism coloring his tone. A star party. As we delved deeper into the signal, an image coalesced on the display, an ancient structure adrift on the fringes of a vast nebula, its form obscured by the swirling mists of cosmic dust. Looks like a station of some kind, I observed, the site both familiar and alien. Could be deserted or it could be a trap. Varis considered our options, the weight of command resting firmly on his shoulders. We've come this far and uncovered truths I never imagined. We can't stop now. Set a course. With renewed purpose, the Nomad altered its trajectory, the stars shifting as we navigated toward the beacon's origin. The nebula loomed ahead, a tapestry of colors swirling with mystery and potential danger. As we entered the nebula, the ship's sensors flickered with interference, the dense clouds of dust and gas distorting our instruments. Visibility was low, the Nomad's lights cutting a path through the void like a ship sailing through a fog-laden sea. Feels like we're flying blind, Della noted, her eyes glued to the displays, alert for any sign of the structure. Just like old times, I replied, a smile playing on my lips despite the tension. The unknown was always a companion on these voyages, a reminder of the vastness of our cosmic backyard. Gradually, the structure emerged from the mists, a massive edifice that spoke of ancient craftsmanship and forgotten purpose. It was a relic of an age beyond reckoning, its walls adorned with symbols that hinted at a language long lost to the annals of time. "We're here," Varis declared, bringing the Nomad to a gentle halt. "Let's see what the past has left for us." We donned our gear and readied ourselves for the boarding. The airlock cycled with a hiss, and we stepped into the labyrinthine corridors of the station. The air was still, the silence profound, broken only by the soft echo of our footfalls. The walls were lined with inscriptions and carvings, their purpose as mysterious as the station itself. I ran my fingers over the symbols, feeling a connection that transcended time, as if the builders had left a piece of themselves within these walls. "This place feels alive," Della murmured, her voice reverent as she scanned the surroundings. "Like it's waiting for something." "Or someone," Thane added, his usual bravado tempered by the haunting atmosphere. As we explored deeper, we found the source of the signal, a central chamber filled with what appeared to be a star map, its surface aglow with constellations that shifted and danced in a mesmerizing display. The map was unlike any we'd seen, its precision and detail defying the limitations of known technology. Varis approached the map, his face illuminated by its ethereal glow. "It's a map of the universe, or at least a part of it that no one alive today remembers." The map pulsed, reacting to our presence, its light intensifying to reveal new pathways and connections. It was a guide, a key to unlocking the mysteries of the cosmos. "This might be what the Avers wanted us to find," I said, my heart pounding with the realization. "A map to the heart of the weave, to the secrets we've only begun to uncover." "We're being called to something greater," Varis concluded, his voice resonant with resolve and purpose. With this newfound knowledge came the understanding that our journey was far from over. The universe beckoned, its song a melody of infinite complexity and wonder, inviting us to delve deeper into its endless embrace. As we prepared to depart, the station's lights dimmed, a silent farewell from the past. We returned to the Nomad, the map now a part of our navigation, a beacon of hope and discovery. And as we sailed away from the nebula, the stars whispered promises of adventures yet to come, possibilities as limitless as the cosmos itself. The threads of our journey continued to weave a tale that was as much about the future as it was about the past, and with each passing moment, we were ready to listen to the universe's eternal song.